From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for February 21st, 2018. I'm Madison Neal.
And I'm Anna Kate Patterson. Thank you for joining us this evening. Every year, college students from around the state meet in Montgomery to ask for more educational funding for secondary education. And last night, Troy Student Government Association discussed the details for this year's trip for Higher Ed Day. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Troy University Student Government Association is gearing up for this year's Higher Ed Day. According to SGA President Ashley Morris, a group of Troy students will join other students from Alabama's 14 public universities in Montgomery Thursday to ask state legislators for more educational funding.
Normally schools have a ton of students going, but Higher Ed Partnership really wants to make this a more tight-knit and intentional effort. So we are limiting each school to bringing 50 students maximum and giving them more opportunities to interact with legislators individually.
To help with student-legislator interaction, organizers planned a banquet where students and government officials will meet in groups to discuss the budget.
They will, talk to us, 1 or 2 to every, 5 or 10 student representatives. And so we'll go and just have lunch with them and get to, voice our opinions and have like a real conversation with these adults that are making these decisions for us.
But one obstacle students often run into is a lack of information on government affairs. To remedy this, Morris said Higher Education Partnership and the university's SGAs are working to keep students informed.
Before students get there, they have basic information about the Education Trust Fund. They have basic information about, generally how the budget normally is split up in allocations to higher education.
Morris also said that, as it stands, Troy already may see a 4% increase in funding from the state government. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy TrojanVision News.
Morris said the group will leave from the Trojan Arena at 8:30 on Thursday, and students participating in the event will receive an excuse from the university.
A Troy University sorority is looking to add some color to campus as a way to help fight child abuse and are looking for some runners to help in the process. Kappa Delta sorority will hold their annual Color Me KD 5K run on March 3rd. Runners can sign up now to participate in the race, which will run through the Troy campus. Runners participating in the color run will get hit with colored powder throughout the course. The majority of the funds raised will stay local, helping the Pike Regional Child Advocacy Center.
That's why we do this, the Shamrock, and we raise awareness about child abuse, and that's why we do this, so it raises money, and 80% of it does go to Pike County to help serve them and help them to be able to reach out to those 4 communities.
Runners can sign up for the race by visiting the Kappa Delta Facebook page at KD Troy. You can register up until the day of the race, and there is also a non-color option for runners as well. Troy University's National Association of Black Journalists gave students a chance to show off their talents.
In a competition inspired by a famous television talent show, Adoria Hughes has the details.
Dancing, singing, and poetry were among the many talents performed at the National Association of Black Journalists Apollo Night fundraiser.
Apollo Night is the big event that NABJ puts on. It's based after the Showtime at the Apollo that they used to have back in the day, and it's just a big event that NABJ puts on. We help raise money for the Boys and Girls Club, so it's basically like our philanthropy for our organization. And we have a winner. The winner gets a $50 cash prize, and then we take it up to the Boys and Girls Club for them.
Door prizes were given away to audience members, and the main cash prize was given to the winner.
Honestly, winning this competition was very humbling because I went into it without any music and I was just trusting God with it. But it was a good opportunity to just be amongst my friends and my peers here at Troy University. I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. DJ Red is always an act, so I had a good time.
The fundraiser was a great way for students to showcase their talents while helping to raise money to support the boys and girls in the Troy community.
The turnout was great. It was a great event. The students really enjoyed themselves. It was a great way for the performers just to showcase their talents, because Troy University has a lot of talent, and for everyone to be able to showcase their talent, it really motivates the students to keep going in their performance. And it also makes the crowd get more involved.
Adoria Hughes, Troy TrojanVision News.
NABJ's next event will be a resume workshop planned for later this semester.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome back to TrojanVision Sports. I'm Sarah Drake. The track and field teams were in competition Monday and Tuesday at the Sun Belt Conference Championships in Birmingham. India Somerville launched a shot put 15.01 meters to claim the gold in the women's shot put. Nyada Alexander missed out on an individual victory of her own by just 0.02 of a second in the 400-meter dash. The senior was also a runner-up in the 200-meter and finished third in the 60-meter. She also helped lead the 4x400-meter relay team. Troy also made it to the podium with Gabrielle Henderson, who scored second in the 60-meter, and Alexis Garrett, who finished third in the 60-meter hurdles. And as a team, the Trojans had a fifth-place finish, which is tied for the highest all-time by the program. Troy baseball hit the road for the first time in 2018 to face off with in-state rival and number 26 Auburn. They are currently in action at Plainsman Park. Troy is coming off a fresh 4-game sweep of UT Martin to kick off the season. The Trojans displayed explosive power at the plate in the series, ripping a national best 10 home runs. Both teams are undefeated as the Tigers also swept their opening series against Longwood. And assistant coach Brad Phillips said that this is just another game.
There, it's our people, our fans, our players. They really enjoy playing Auburn. So for us, it's just another game. You hear that from a coaching standpoint, but it's true. Our guys want to go and compete and do what they do over at their place as well. We've had success against them the last few years, so hopefully we can keep that up.
As mentioned earlier, the two teams are in action, and the score is currently 0-0 in the middle of the fourth. Following a trip out west to Arizona, the Troy softball team will continue its road swing, making the short trip to Birmingham as they are now in action against Samford. The Trojans went 2-2 at the Hill and Brand Invitational, hosted by Arizona, defeating Bryant and Montana, but falling to Colorado State and the first game against Montana. Sophomores Logan Calhoun and Katie Webb have been the offensive workhorses so far this season for Troy. Webb leads the team with a .393 at the plate, with team highs 11 hits and 8 RBIs. Calhoun is just below Webb with a .391 batting average with 9 hits and 8 runs. Juniors Claire Grays and Peyton Glover, as well as freshman Annie Willis, have held it down in the circle with a team ERA of 1.65 and 45 strikeouts through 55 innings pitched. First pitch was at 5 p.m. and the Trojans are currently up 1-0. The women's golf team has not been in competition since finishing 5th in the Idle Hour Collegiate Championship in Macon, Georgia. But that's about to change as the team is traveling to the Woodlands, Texas to compete in the Dixon Monday and Tuesday. And with this being the first competition of the spring season, head coach Randy Keck speaks on how the team spent their offseason.
It's been a really good off season. We talked a lot about attitude. We've worked with a mental coach a little bit, worked on some sports psychology stuff, and then also just our fitness levels. We've really stepped up our workouts. We've stepped up our weight training. We've stepped up our endurance, and really trying to build a big, strong, team that can really compete at the highest level and not get exhausted during late in rounds.
The team will then have 2 weeks off before heading to Augusta, Georgia to compete in the 3M Augusta Invitational. The women's basketball team returns to Trojan Arena for the final 2 home games of the season, starting with a 5 p.m. match against Louisiana Lafayette on Thursday. The Trojans have won 7 of their last 8 games, while Louisiana has dropped 2 straight after falling in an extremely low-scoring affair to UT Arlington 38-34. Both Troy and the Ragin' Cajuns are battling to finish in the top 4 of the Sun Belt Conference standings and earn a first-round bye. Troy is currently 4th, and the ULL sits a game behind the Trojans, but 5 teams are jockeying for the number 4 seed. With 4 games remaining in the regular season, the men's basketball team will face conference leader Louisiana Lafayette Thursday at 7:15 p.m. The Trojans remain in the hunt for a top 4 seed in the Sun Belt tournament and a first-round bye. A 4-game winning streak was interrupted on Saturday after Troy went cold in a 65-54 loss at Appalachian State. Despite the setback, the Trojans still sit in a 3-way tie for 4th in the conference at 7-7 with ULM and South Alabama. ULL visits Trojan Arena with a comfortable first-place lead in the Sun Belt. The first matchup between the teams on January 27th saw Troy down just 4 at the half before eventually falling 81-69 in the Cajun Dome.